What is obesity? Obesity means having too much body fat. It is different from being overweight, which means weighing too much. Obesity occurs over time when you eat more calories than you use. Body mass index, or BMI, is a simple index of weight for height that is commonly used to classify overweight and obesity in adults. It is defined as a person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of his height in meters. In 2014, more than 1.9 billion adults aged 18 years and older were overweight. Of these, over 600 million adults were obese. Overall, about 13% of the world's adult population were obese in 2014. In 2014, 39% of adults aged 18 years and over were overweight. The worldwide prevalence of obesity more than doubled between 1980 and 2014. Obesity was once a high-income country problem. However, it is starting to become more of a low-income and middle-income country problem as well. Overweight and obesity are linked to more deaths worldwide than underweight. Globally, there are more people who are obese than underweight. What are some risk factors for obesity?
Socioeconomic status plays an important factor in determining whether a person is at great risk for obesity. Socioeconomic status affects environment in which families may live in. For instance, families in low-income neighborhoods may have broken down and worn-out sidewalks and playgrounds, as well as lack of access to recreational facilities and supermarkets. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, an estimate of 9.7% of the U.S. population, or 29.7 million people, live in low-income areas more than 1 mile away from a supermarket, and the only options for grocery shopping around their neighborhoods are convenience stores, liquor stores, gas stations, or fast food restaurants that sell foods that are very high in fat, sugar, and salt. Education is also important to consider when assessing individuals who may be at risk for obesity. Families or individuals with low education levels, such as lower than a high school education, may influence what foods or beverages are included in their daily diet and the level or patterns in physical activity. Healthy foods such as fresh vegetables and fruits are much more costly than fast food, which may compel low-income individuals to purchase dollar menu foods at large quantities to achieve fullness.
Other risk factors are large food portions served at restaurants, exposure to fast food advertisements, eating to cope with stress, lack of sleep, inactivity, age, pregnancy, and many more. Obesity can cause devastating effects and increase the risk to potentially fatal diseases or health conditions such as coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, and type 2 diabetes, and many other more such as abnormal blood fats, metabolic syndrome, cancer, osteoporosis, obesity hypoventilation syndrome, reproductive problems, and gallstones. The social consequences of being obese are serious and pervasive. Stigma and bias generally refer to negative attitudes that affect our interpersonal interactions and activities in a detrimental way. Stigma may come in several forms, including verbal types of bias such as ridicule, teasing, insult, stereotypes, and derogatory names, physical stigma such as touching, grabbing, or other aggressive behaviors, or other barriers and obstacles due to weight. For obese adults, research has documented that individuals who experience weight stigmas have higher rates of depression, anxiety, social isolation, and poor psychological adjustments. Some obese adults may react to weight stigma by internalizing and accepting negative attitudes against them, which may in turn increase their vulnerability to low self-esteem. What are the protective factors? Belonging to a less westernized culture that accepts a range of body shapes and sizes, involvement with sport or industry where there is no emphasis on physical attractiveness or thinness, peer or social support structures and relationships where weight and physical appearance are not of high concern. Support from family, knowledge of diet and nutrition, high self-esteem, positive body image, critical processing of media images, emotional well-being, school achievements, good social skills, and problem-solving and coping skills. What can you do to prevent or reduce your chances of becoming obese?
Depending on whatever weight you desire, it is important to recognize the balance of energy in and energy out over time. If you would like to maintain weight, you should keep the same amount of energy in and energy out over time. If you would like to gain weight, focus more on putting energy in than energy out over time. And finally, if your goal is to lose weight, put more energy out than energy in over time. Here are some steps to follow to acquire the weight that you desire. First, develop and follow a healthy eating plan. Make healthy food choices. Remember to keep your calorie needs and your family's calorie needs in mind. And whether you want to gain weight, maintain weight, or lose weight, focus on the balance of energy into your body and out from your body. It is important to read labels. Individuals may initially look at the amount of calories of a beverage and food item and claim how healthy or less unhealthy the item is, based on how much calories there are. However, it is important to look at the servings and ingredients. Serving sizes determine how many calories and amount of sugar or sodium you consume per serving. So, although calories and amount of sugar and sodium on the food or beverage may be of little value, they do add up depending on how much of a serving you consume. What the? No caffeine? Only 160 calories? And it's $1? Wow, what a steal. Step number 2. Monitor portion sizes. Watch how much you eat from fast food and restaurants. If you have children, keep in mind that their portion sizes should be smaller than adults. Cutting back on portion size will help you balance energy in and energy out. Step number 3. Be active. Make time for personal or even for family time. Find activities that everyone will enjoy. It can be as simple as walking or biking around the neighborhood. Step number 4. Reduce electronics and screen time. Limit the use of TVs, computers, and video games. Health experts recommend less than 2 hours of screen time that is not work or homework related. 5th, keep track of your weight, body mass index, and waist circumference by recording on journals or even on a diary. Also monitor your children's growth and process. And lastly, even if you are obese or overweight, losing even 5 to 10% of your weight can delay or prevent some of these diseases.